didn't want to explain to you exactly what happened between me and Franny.
Oh.
It's important to me and Sabrina that everyone understand that what happened wasn't planned. But the fact of the matter is I'm very much in love with Sabrina.
Oh. I mean, I guess I should have guessed, because I've been seeing you two spend so much time together. That's great.
Well, I just thought you ought to know what's been going on. I wanted to explain to Holden at the same time, but things have been so crazy around here with Mom and all, and he never even came home last night. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yes, he did. I found him in the hayloft early this morning.
Well, what was he doing up there?
Well, he told me that it's over between Lily and him.
Oh,
What?
no.
Why? Because Lucinda told Lily the truth, that Holden knew that she was adopted all along. And she was so upset that she ran to Dusty, and then Holden tried to find her, and Lily told him that she didn't want to see him anymore.
Pam, I didn't realize anybody else was down here.
It's okay. I just came over to drop off Dusty's keys.
I meant to call you and explain this whole thing to you, Pam.
Explain? What is there to explain? I think it's all very obvious, don't you?
Why don't I leave you two alone?
No, Lily, you stay here. I have
What
to
are
go.
you talking about? Pam, get over here. You're way too important for me to leave. Come on.
It came between you and Lily that I would lose, right? And I was right.
Pam, stop it. Pam!
Why'd you go after her?
Because I'm going to see her at the hospital today, and I wouldn't know what to say to her right now. And I never meant to hurt her. This was a really rotten way to find out.
You're gonna wind up destroying us all.
Thank you for waiting, Holden. I have to say I'm glad that you've decided to come and work for me. I don't understand one thing, though. You tell me that Lucinda is no longer a consideration. Yet you and Lily are...
Lily and I aren't seeing each other anymore, Tonio.
Really? What happened?
Well, let's just say Lucinda Dixon is the reason behind it. I want to work 24 hours a day to do whatever I can to hurt Lucinda Dixon because of what she has done to Lily and me.
All right. That kind of energy can be channeled to both our advantage. The contacts I still have at Walsh tell me that Lucinda is running a very loose ship right now. She's been leaving some major decisions in the hands of incompetents. That can only help us.
So does that mean the offer's still open?
Yes. I'll work out the details with you later, but for now, I'll guarantee you a salary higher than whatever Lucinda was paying you when you left. And someday, when you find the money, perhaps you can buy in as a full partner.
That's very generous of you.
Holden, since we're starting a new business relationship, perhaps I should tell you something that I've already told the police.
What's that?
I received an anonymous phone call of someone informing me that Juro Associates, which put up most of the money for me to buy Craig's business initially, was actually funded by James Steinbeck. Now, I don't know if this is true, and I'm doing everything I can to find out. I had no idea of this at all from the outset. The problem is that with the news of Steinbeck's death, that's bound to cast a rather dark shadow over the integrity of our company. Although I'm sure we can rectify that.
Since you're being so honest with me, I think I should do the same for you. When I heard about all this Steinbeck stuff, I went to the police because I had been up at the Ruxton Hills house the same night that he died.
You were there?
But what I didn't tell them was that I saw you up there, too.
The Emmy Award winner, As the World Turns. This portion brought to you today by New Love's Deluxe, a change in diapers that will change your life. And by Dawn, the dishwashing liquid that takes the grease out of your way.
You were driving in just as I was about ready to take off.
What were you doing there, Holden?
Wanted somehow to even the score with Steinbeck for what he had done to Louis.
That's strange. I, didn't see your car.
I parked out back. You came in the front drive.
And why didn't you tell the police that you had seen me there?
Because of Maggie. I knew that she was quite upset about you being brought down to the police station for questioning.
And if the police were to question you again, what would you say?
I'm working for you now, Tonio. Unless they ask me outright, and I don't think they will, I don't see any reason to say anything. Especially because I wouldn't want to hurt Maggie or my new boss.
I see. Aren't you going to ask me what I was doing there?
That's your business.
Well, I'll tell you anyway. Lucinda called me and told me she was sure that James Steinbeck was hiding out at the Ruxton Hills house.
Why would she call you?
Lucinda claimed to know that Steinbeck was the one who bankrolled Juro Associates. She said that once Steinbeck was caught, all that information would come out, and she would use those problems for me to take advantage of it and take Craig's company away. I think she was trying to goad me into killing Steinbeck. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Really?
Yes. Well, I decided that I should go up there and try and get the truth from Steinbeck himself. I drove in and parked under the trees in the front, by the front driveway. Got out of the car and went around to the back of the house. It was at that point I heard a car leave. That must have been you. It suddenly dawned on me that Lucinda was the one who would benefit most from any problems or any trouble that I might get myself into. She would take full advantage of anything that might happen to me so that she could get this business from me. I realized that my hatred for Lucinda was stronger than my hatred for Steinbeck. So I got in my car and I drove out the drive. And suddenly, as I looked in my rearview mirror, I saw a woman emerge from the trees on the other side of the driveway.
Did you see who it was?
Yes, it was Barbara Ryan. She had a strange, almost wild look in her eyes. I don't even think she realized I was there.
Did you tell that to the police?
No, because that would mean having to admit that I was at the Ruxton Hills house myself. And anyway, according to the police report, they already know Barbara was there. So I don't see any reason why any of this should come out. Do you?
A spokesman for the Oakdale police said wanted criminal James Steinbeck is thought to have perished in a fire last night in an unoccupied home in Ruxton Hills. A badly charred skeleton found at the scene of the blaze has not yet been positively identified. We'll have more details later.
Well, I sure hope it's that guy Steinbeck after all the suffering he's caused everybody. I gotta get to work.
Let me get my coat. I'll help you.
Okay. Do me a favor and give me a call after you get to the hospital and talk to John and let me know how Mama's doing.
Sure.
Well, Seth and Sabrina. Imagine.
Meg, I think we ought to continue our little talk about Tonio.
Really, we don't need to. I was upset and I said things that I didn't mean to.
If you really think that Tonio killed James Steinbeck, you better go to the police.
I didn't mean that I think that he did it. I think that obviously the police might think he does. I mean, why in the world would they take him in for questioning twice in the last 24 hours?
I don't know. Why would they connect him with Steinbeck to begin with?
Well, okay, that's because Duncan McKechnie stole Tonio's blazer and then took it over to the police. Apparently the buttons on it match a button that was down in the docks, and they think that the docks is where James Steinbeck was meeting his contacts. And then Lucinda, she's now saying that she met James in our apartment.
What?
I know it sounds strange, but James lived in that apartment before John Dixon did. And he obviously kept a key. Anyway, now Lucinda is saying that Tonio is working for James, which is absurd because everybody knows that Tonio hates James Steinbeck's guts, always has. What are you thinking?
I was just thinking about a phone call that Holden got from you in Wyoming, and you said that you were very upset.
Well, what about it?
You told him that you were afraid of James Steinbeck. So I'm just wondering, Meg, if that call has anything to do with all this. Meg?
Dusty, I wouldn't have come downstairs if I knew Pam were here.
Lee, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I should have known that she could have shown up, and I should have gotten to her myself. And the whole time, you know, I was thinking about what you said about not wanting to hurt people, like you didn't want to hurt Holden.
I wish I could say that were true. There is a part of me that wanted to hurt Holden for all those lies. It was funny, I was lying here last night looking up at the ceiling and I was thinking about something.
What?
How much Holden is like Lucinda.
What?
Yeah, well, think about it. They both want to control people and they use lies and manipulation to do that.
Lily, do you remember last night when you said to me that you never wanted to leave here?
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you still feel that way?
More than ever.
You sure?
I'm very sure. I want to live here with you. I want to share everything with you. I don't want anything to ever come between us again. Maybe you should get that.
I should get that. Hello.
Dusty Donovan?
Yeah.
Detective Roy Franklin. I'm just touching base with you to follow up on Steinbeck's possible murder.
James Steinbeck is dead?
What are they doing this time? What'd they do this time? They ran off with my doctor bag, that's all.
What on earth for? Darcy from next door wanted to play doctors and nurses.
Oh, no. No doctors and nurses in this house.
Well, Uncle Casey's a doctor, and he's marrying a nurse.
Yeah, that's right, but only one doctor and one nurse per family. Now, we gotta keep it down so my bride-to-be can talk to her sister over in Greece, okay?
No, don't worry. These two are coming to the grocery store with me.
Oh, Grandpa, I hate going to the supermarket.
No, I've got to pick up a 25-pound bag of flour, and I need you guys to help me carry
25 pounds? What, do you start a bakery here?
Oh, we need it for the wedding cake. Plus pasta for tonight, and the rehearsal dinner tomorrow night. Then the reception. I'll probably need more, but this will get me started.
Yeah.
I'll be in the kitchen if you need me.
Okay, all right.
That's good. Okay, Maggie. Bye-bye. Thank you. Well, Maggie sends her love and congratulations.
Does that mean they're not coming to the wedding?
Well, you know, they have 2 weeks left on their vacation and everything. I can't really expect them to give that up.
Is that why you're so sad?
Well, it's just that she's in Greece, too. You know, she's going to speak to the authorities about the search for Craig. Ah, Maureen, I wanted to help you with the breakfast dishes.
Oh, it's all done, honey.
Oh, thank you.
As soon as Joe gets back, we can start the wedding cake.
Listen, I smell meatballs. I'm gonna go sample them, okay? Excuse me.
He'll never grow up, that kid. It's hard to believe he's almost a full doctor about to be married.
Yeah. Maureen, I know I'm probably not what you expected for Casey.
Well, to be perfectly truthful with you, Lila, you're not at all what we expected. What we expected was another Taylor Baldwin. But you're real people. We couldn't be happier.
You knew Taylor Baldwin?
Oh, barely. Casey brought her home one weekend when they were both at Marlboro. I'd cooked for days, and all she did was pick at her food. And Casey was so nervous the whole time she was there, I could tell he wished we were different people than we were.
Did Casey tell you that Taylor's on staff at Memorial?
No. I hope she's not coming to the wedding.
Actually, Casey invited her, seeing that it's at the hospital chapel in the...
Well, how do you feel about that?
Well,
does it bother you?
Well, it would have, but not anymore.
Lila, we may not get another chance to talk alone like this, and I just want to say thank you for giving my son back his crazy sense of humor and for making him so very happy, proud of himself and who he is.
He did the same for me.
I'm glad.
All good. Wheeler Montgomery. Shawnee. Hey, how are you? Did you have a good flight? Right, you know the address, right? Okay, we'll see you in a minute then. Great. Bye. That was my brother Sean and his wife Lorraine, and they got Grandma Rose, and they're on their way from the airport.
Uh-oh, more fresh towels.
And more meatballs.
You're gonna love Sean, and you're gonna love Lorraine, and you're especially gonna love Grandma, because she's a real cutie, and we only have one problem here.
What?
There goes the couch.
So anyway, I was standing there, stark raving naked, waiting to take a nice hot bath. I pushed back the shower curtain to run the bath, and there is this little boy staring at me, pop-eyed. Now I hear even more Parettis are on their way.
Well, listen, I can't offer you total privacy, but I could offer you a little peace and quiet it might have. Huh?
I thought you'd never ask.
And there is Mac and Tom. Let's go see how their talk with the commission went.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Forensics just got hold of that dentist that Barbara Ryan says she and Steinbeck went to. He's sending over a dental report, hoping there's a positive ID on the skeleton. Meanwhile, the firemen just finished sifting through the basement, and they figured that's where it started, with the gasoline generator.
Well, that would explain why the fire spread so quickly.
Yeah, and I guess because they didn't find anybody in the generator room, that means Nick escaped.
Nick was there?
Well, Paul says that he locked Nick in the generator room, but Lucinda Dixon says that she heard somebody pounding down a door, and then she heard somebody running up the back stairs just before the explosion. Then she saw somebody later running from the house into the woods. She only saw him from behind, but he was tall and dark, so it must have been Nick.
Well, how's the questioning of the witnesses going?
Well, we talked to everybody we think was at the Ruxton Hills house. Turns out to be quite a list.
Well, what about Paul and Emily and Barbara?
Well, Barbara's still pretty much out of it. Most of what she remembers is all jumbled up.
She says that she went to the house unarmed, walked around in the back of it for a while, and then she found a linoleum knife in that tool shed. When she went into the house, she went in through the back entrance, and that's where she saw James lying on the floor with Lucinda standing over him. Oh, and then she heard Lucinda scream and run out the door.
And then the explosion knocked Barbara out. She doesn't remember anything after that until we found her wandering around on the lawn.
You buy all that?
Well, your father examined her first, Tom, and then the staff psychiatrist at Memorial, Dr. Michaels, said that she felt that Barbara's memory lapse was brought on by severe traumatic shocks.
Well, what about the gun that was in her hand when we found her?
Says she doesn't remember how she got it.
Well, what about Paul and Emily?
Well, they both told virtually identical stories. It turns out that Emily did leave Fashions with the gun. She actually held it on James at one point until James had his change of heart, and then he took it away from her, and she says she never saw it again.
Now, can you buy that?
Well, it seems to jibe with Holden's story about seeing Emily with the gun, then leaving the window to go get something to protect Emily from James, and then coming back to the window and seeing Emily in James's arms.
Right, okay. But what about this sudden change of heart?
Well, it seems like James was just suddenly beaten, like he knew that the jig was up. I mean, he told Paul to go back to his mother and never look back. He told Emily the same thing. I guess he knew that the helicopter that Lucinda was going to send wasn't coming, and he's just too proud to have Paul and Emily see him get caught. And then Emily went outside so Paul could say goodbye to his father alone, and then they left. Oh, and they saw John Dixon driving up to the house.
What's John doing there?
I talked to John about that. Apparently, John went to the house to confront James, but he never even got out of the car. He sat there, changed his mind. He turned the car around and was driving out. He did see a car go past him. It must have been Emily and Paul.
Hal, do you buy Emily and Paul's stories?
Well, on the surface, I'd say yes, except that they're just too identical. I mean, right down to the last detail. Also, I find it really strange that James would do such an about-face after everything he went through to get Paul. I mean, I think that, he could have taken his own life once he knew that the end was near. I mean, it's a possibility.
It's such a remote possibility, Hal. Suicide and a change of heart are out of character for James Steinbeck.
Have you told anyone else about the pregnancy?
No, not directly, but Paul overheard. Now, he swore to me he wouldn't tell anybody.
Emily, if this investigation continues, you may have to tell someone at some...
Emily, I have been looking all over for you.
Hello, Lynn. Hello, Susan. Let me let you know, all right, about this afternoon.
Thank you. Mother, what are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing here? I came straight here as soon as Betsy told me the news. Now, my question is, why did I have to hear it from her instead of from my own daughter?
Look, I had to talk to the police, all right?
Why didn't you tell me you were seeing James Steinbeck all this time?
Oh, and you would understand, right?
Well, whether I do or I don't, I'm your mother. And it would be so nice if just once in a while you would let me in on what's happening in your life. Why am I always the last to know? Why?
I don't know. Why can't you ever understand anything?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Just be glad it's all over.
No, I don't think any of this is ever going to be over.
Roy, who else have you talked to?
I asked Monica Lawrence and her mother about that jewelry case we found up by the house. Well, they claim that they took the jewels out of the bank to have them reappraised. They had no idea how it disappeared from Monica's bedroom, as well as how it got up to the Ruxton Hills house.
Well, how about Lucinda Dixon?
Well, Lucinda, she admitted that she was up to the house with a gun. She went in the house. She saw James Steinbeck lying on the floor. She thought he was dead. Then, maybe with his last bit of strength, he reached out and touched her foot. She screamed, ran from the house, and there was a big explosion that shook the house. Also, she did admit to calling Tonio Reyes earlier to tell him where Steinbeck was, since he made a standing offer to kill Steinbeck.
Look, you've talked to Reyes, of course.
Yeah, a couple of times. He claims he never had any contact with Steinbeck, or was he up there last night. But he did admit to making that offer to Lucinda.
Apparently, Tonio says he got an anonymous blackmail threat. He thought it was from James, but he says he calmed down enough by the time Lucinda called him to tell him where James was.
I'm going to pay a little visit to Lucinda Dixon. I want to know if James did anything to her about Tonio. Because I think Tonio's keeping things from us.
All right, I'll leave in my office.
How did it go with the police?
They wanted to know if I'd been to the Ruxton Hills house last night, and I said I hadn't. By the way, I have some good news.
What?
I'll tell you later when you get to the hospital. I'll talk to you then. Tonio, I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell anybody that you hired me. I'd like to be the first to tell my family. I don't blame you. I can't imagine they'll be very happy.
Well, I guess I'll be getting over to the hospital. Meg? Look, there's nothing else that we need to talk about, okay? I can tell you the best news. Tonio has left the executive club and he's come back to the penthouse.
I really don't think that's going to solve any of your problems, Meg.
Thank you.
Oh, you two still here? It's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
I'm going to go finish my makeup upstairs.
Want some coffee?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
Wonderful being here with you the last 2 nights. I suppose that will change when your mother comes home. She's been very understanding, but having me under the same roof is a bit different.
Well, why don't we cross that bridge when we get to it, huh? All I know is that I'm glad that you've been here. And that's the way that I want it, always.
Well, can I get you something?
Well, you know, I would really kill for a nice, hot, steaming black cup of coffee.
All right, fine. Decaffeinated.
No
Yes,
caffeine, please.
No caffeine,
Hi,
no
John.
caffeine. Hello, hello. Well,
Hi.
you look very good considering your ordeal.
John, listen, I got a call from Detective Franklin.
Yeah?
Concerning the fact that they think Steinbeck is probably dead.
Huh. Listen, Emma's here. I want you to say hello, but I want to tell you now. She knows nothing about what happened with you or with Rod. I don't want her upset, okay?
Okay.
So be discreet.
I'll just say hello.
That's good. It's fine.
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Where were you last night? Pam kept trying to call you. She wore the phone out for crying out loud.
I was there. I just wasn't answering the phone.
How come?
Well, Lily came over last night after she had another argument with Lucinda, and she wound up spending the night there.
Are you saying
That's all I want to say. That's all I'm saying, okay? And I'm going to keep it to myself, and I hope that you will do the same, okay? Mashed potato? No. Again?
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Duncan Hines' family of baking mix products. They're so irresistible, you'll see why you can't help yourself. And by Jif, the peanut butter with the fresh roasted peanutty difference. We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
Dusty, can I borrow your car keys? I'd like to go over to the campus and see if I can register. Please.
Sure, you can have my car keys.
I'm glad you're going back to school, Lily.
Well, if they'll let me.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
It's nice to see you, Miss Anna. I'll see you later.
Yes, bye-bye, Dusty.
Bye.
Take care. Hey,
Hi, Mama.
hello.
It's good to see you up and around.
Oh, well, it's good to be up and around. Is everything all right? Are you okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
Here you go.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you. Oh, my, that's wonderful.
Excuse me, John. I just spoke to Ellen, and she's very worried about Rod Landry. Is there any word?
Well, what happened to Josh?
Look, Mama, don't get upset here, all right?
What?
I'm sorry.
Mother.
Did I say something?
Let's go. What happened?
Well, we're very concerned about your condition, of course. We withheld some information for you. We had to do that. It seems that James Steinbeck was holding Lily hostage
Oh, my.
to try to get Lucinda to help him get Paul. Rod found out where he was hiding her, and in the process of helping her to escape, he was wounded.
He was wounded. Is he very
We
badly?
performed surgery on him. He's in ICU. He's fine. He's regained consciousness. He's beginning to fight. It's a very good sign.
Oh, does Elizabeth know about this?
She's up there. She's waiting to see him right now.
Oh.
So don't let it upset you so
No,
much, all right? Are you going to be here for a while, Holden?
Yeah, I'm gonna be here.
Good. I've got some things to do. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Soon.
Mama, I hope you understand why we didn't tell you about
Well, I really wish
Josh
that you
and Lily.
had. I really... Holden, what is it? Are you okay? I mean, I noticed that you didn't say hello to Lily. Did you two have a fight? Holden, did she find out that you knew?
Mama, I don't want you to worry about anything, though, okay? Because everything's gonna be fine.
Oh, look, a lawyer at the front door. You must have ESP. I was just about to call you. Yeah, I heard about all this Steinbeck stuff. If you're too swamped to do this bachelor party thing, I understand.
Oh, come on. I deserve some R&R, too. Of course it's still on. I want you to make sure you invite every male member of your family that's in the area.
Yeah, well, you may regret that because I don't know how many of them are going to show up.
I doubt that. The more the merrier is what I...
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mama. Mama, Mrs. Peretti, are you going to be at Franny's for the shower?
Of course. I hope you're going to be able to make it.
Oh, with bells on, if I don't fall asleep first.
What took you so long?
We had a little trouble at the supermarket, didn't we, Tino?
Well, all these tomatoes were piled in sort of a pyramid, and only the best ones were at the bottom.
I hope you got a recipe for a bag full of slightly smashed tomatoes.
Well, I guess I can always add them to the marinara sauce.
Oh, Margot, I can't remember if you met Gino and Tony.
Oh, yes, I did. I've even met Tony twice. How you doing, kid?
Good. I didn't recognize you with all your clothes on.
Well, it was... never mind.
Tonio, I am scared.
Meg, you have got to get yourself under control. Now, our stories must match exactly. And the more emotional you get, the more chances you're going to let something slip. Have you said anything to your family?
Not really.
What does that mean, not really? What have you told them?
Well, I mean, I was talking to Ivan, and I told her I was so worried about you. I was talking about you being taken down to the police station, but there's no reason why in the world that it should be connected to James Steinbeck. Hi.
Hi. I have to make some business calls. I'll speak with you later.
Pam, join me.
I don't think I'm going to be the best company anyway.
Yeah, you look wiped out.
Well, last night, John and I went down to the police station after they took Aunt Lucinda down there for some questioning, and we were there all night.
Yeah, well, they took Tonio down there, too, in the middle of the night, which is ridiculous since he hardly even knew James Steinbeck. Look, Iva told me what happened with Lily and Dusty. I'm really sorry. I know it's just her emotional reaction. Lily really loves Holden, and she's gonna...
Meg,
this
you
whole
were
thing's
right.
gonna blow.
You were right about Dusty and Lily. I mean, he loves her, and he always has. And I'm not going to spend the rest of my life fighting a losing battle.
Do you mean you're gonna give up on him?
Pam, I need to talk to you now.
Excuse me, I gotta make a phone call.
Thanks. Can you sit down here, please?
Sit yourself.
Pam, I meant to explain everything to you. I wanted to find you, and I wanted to clear the whole thing up. You have to believe that, please.
Dusty, I'm not 12 years old. You don't have to explain anything to me.
I know that, but it's very important to me I didn't mean to hurt you. The way you found out was the worst possible way. It was rotten.
What difference does it make how I found out I was going to be hurt anyway, right?
I want you to know the times we had for the past couple of months have been some of the best times of my life. And I'm not going to forget those. Because you pointed out a lot of things to me about myself. You made me take a good look at myself, and you made me laugh at myself.
Really necessary?
Yes, it's very necessary to me. You showed me that you were right. I was a stuffed shirt, and I was a jerk because I thought that only my opinion mattered, and that was all right. You were right about a lot of other things, too,
You know
though.
what else I was right about, Dusty? I was right about Lily, wasn't I? I told you that if she came running back to you, you would just welcome her with open arms, and I was right, wasn't I? No matter what we had between us, I was right. And I really wish I wasn't.
Pam, I wish there was something I could...
There's nothing you could say.
Pam, come on.
Well, Holden, thank you very much for rescuing me from my mother. Listen, I wanted to ask you a question. How did you know what happened to me last night?
I went up to the Ruxton Hills house when I found out that Steinbeck was hiding up there.
Why?
I wanted to get at him for doing what he had done to Lily. When I first got there, I looked in the window and I saw that you guys were having an argument. You were pointing a gun at him.
Yeah, well, what happened?
Well, I wasn't armed, so what I did was I looked around for a rock or something because I wanted to help you. But then when I looked back in the window, you were in his arms and it didn't look as though you needed my help.
Holden, I don't know if you could understand this. Sometimes you can love somebody and hate them at the same time.
You're wrong. I understand completely.
I thought you were going to the university.
Well, I tried to start your car, and it wouldn't work.
I'm sorry. I can't believe it. I'm having problems with my car all of a sudden. I gotta go bring it.
Dr. Black wants you to take a patient to X-ray right now.
Fine, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, right away. As soon as I'm finished doing what I have to do here, I'll go take care of my car. I'll meet you right back here. It'll take no time.
No, why don't you meet me in the solarium?
Lily, You're gonna have to see him sometime or another, okay? There's no reason to be afraid of
I'm
him.
not afraid of him. I gotta go.
Lily.
Maybe you can understand better than I thought.
Look, Tom, I saw how tense things were between you and Margot earlier. If it's too much, if it's gonna be too hard for you to do this best man thing, I
Oh, would you
understand,
stop it? Come on, it's just like I told you. I'm just not gonna push her anymore.
Okay.
I'm just gonna count on all the memories that we've shared, making Margot realize that what we had is worth a second shot. I think this wedding's gonna be the best thing that could happen to us.
Oh, Mama, believe me, there's no problem at all staying in the house. I didn't know you were still here.
Well, yeah, Casey and I were talking about the bachelor party, and since the plans are still full steam ahead, I think I better get going and invite some of the people on the list that I never got to, and Hal is on the top of that list, so I'll see you down there. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me carry your bag to the...
No, that's okay. I can manage. Thank you.
Okay, well, suit yourself. Lila, I'll see you. Have a great time at the shower. Casey, I'll catch you later.
Right.
Bye-bye.
The results of your test are very good. So good, in fact, I'm going to let you out of here.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
When?
Well, as soon as you and I can sit down and we can talk a little bit about the regimen I want you to
Well,
adhere
I
to.
must tell you, I would do anything to be back home with my sweet family.
Well, then let's go on over to my office. We'll take about half an hour to talk about it, all right?
I cannot tell you how happy you've made me.
All right, well, Mama, just give me a call. Oh, no, put that down.
Oh, no, I need
When you want to leave, when you're ready, I'll be in my office.
Wonderful.
Tonight, Lily cut out a part of us that had been tied up together. Cut it with a butcher knife. It's like I'm bleeding inside to death. And it won't stop. But she's gonna get hers. And so is Dusty. And so is everybody that gets caught up into it. And it's not gonna stop until everybody is dead from the pain.
Iva.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
John told me about your mom. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good news. Now I guess the only thing I have to worry about is you and Holden.
I guess he told you what happened.
Yeah. He's really hurting. I don't want you to make a mistake. All right? And if you could just... Look, I know he was wrong, not saying the truth to you, not telling you. All right, fine.
I do want you to know something. Is that I cannot get involved with somebody that I cannot trust.
I understand that. But please just talk to him because I'm
Hi,
so...
Lily. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I just have to bring my car over to the gas station. I don't know what's wrong with it. And I'll be back here in 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever, and I'll meet you right here.
I want to come with you.
You want to come
Please.
with me?
Yes.
Fine, you can come with me.
Goodbye.
Hey, you want to help me, take Mama home?
Yeah.
I got an extra long lunch hour. You know, if you want to talk
Look,
about...
I don't want to talk about Lily, all right? It's like every time I see her with him, it's somebody's sticking a knife in my gut and twisting it up and around there. I just don't know how much longer I can take this. Meg, what took you so long to get here?
Well, I had to make excuses from classes. It wasn't easy. Why did you insist on me coming home?
Because this is the only place I feel safe to tell you this.
Tell me what?
Your brother Holden saw me at the Ruxton Hills house last night.
Holden, what was he doing there?
That's not important. What's important is
Well,
what
of course it's important. He's my brother. If he's an... Oh, Tonio, what if he goes to the police?
He won't.
How can you be sure?
You take it easy now, huh? Mama, let me take this for you, all right?
If you don't stop babying me, I'm going to go right back into the hospital.
Oh, I saw the look where you want to leave that place so bad.
Sorry. Goodness, it's so wonderful to be home.
Here, let me take your coat.
Yeah. Okay.
Here you go. Everything looks so nice.
I've set up the daybed in the parlor since you're not allowed to climb stairs. I hope that's all right.
Oh, yeah, it's in with the mices. That'd be nice. I'll bring this in.
Would you like me to take you in there?
Yeah,
Let me
okay.
take that.
Oh, all right, thank you.
How would you like me to make you some herb tea or
Some tea. I'd like some black coffee with lots of
right.
caffeine in it.
Make the tea.
Oh, everything is so beautiful.
Oh, God, it's great to have Mama home and in good spirits, no less.
She knows about Lily being kidnapped and Josh rescuing her.
I thought we talked about this.
I know, but it just came out. I guess, well, John said that she took it okay.
Well, thank God for that, anyway. Holden, I've told me what happened between you and Lily, and I'm really sorry about it, but I know that you're going to be able to patch things up.
I don't think so, Seth. You guys were right. You kept telling me day after day to tell her. But I just never got around to it. Oh, well. Best thing for me to do right now is just get on with my life, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
Well, any news on the job front? How about that?
As a matter of fact, yes, I do have a job.
Really?
Really?
All right.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations. But why didn't you tell Mama about it or
Well,
anything?
I don't think Mama would want to hear about it because I'm working with Tonio Reigns.
You what?
Oh, I wish we knew where Nick was. Oh, boy, I'd love to nail him.
Margot, we got an APB out on him. That's about all we can do with
We're
the
missing so many pieces to this puzzle, and Nick would put them all right into place for us.
You know, I remember that Paul and Emily said that Steinbeck was going to take him to some island that he bought, but the pilot of that helicopter, he didn't know anything about that. He thought that he was going to take him back to Lakeville Airport.
Maybe they took a private jet?
Maybe, but there was no private jet reported.
Well, maybe Steinbeck changed the plans once he heard we brought the helicopter pilot in for questioning.
It's possible. Hey, guys, we finally got the report back from forensics. It was definitely Steinbeck.
Does it match the records that we got from Steinbeck's old dentist, Dr. Spivak?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. They thought they had some recent work done when he got outside Oakdale, but the more primary work was done here, and it all checks out.
Let me see this. Okay. Body belonged to a Caucasian male over 6 feet. Bone marrow samples show the same blood type.
Anything about the bullet wounds?
Well, evidence shows 2 bullets entered the body. One struck the left arm, shattered the humerus from behind. The other entered the skull, traveled through the brain, and lodged inside the skull over the right eye. Ballistics is checking the bullets against Lucinda Dixon and Barbara Ryan's guns right now. But I'll tell you something. This evidence indicates that Steinbeck was shot from behind.
So he was not shot in self-defense.
So much for my suicide theory.
Looks like we got a murder on our hands.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Fashions by I. Kleinfeld and Son.